4th episode of the Angry Advocate podcast. Really fun to have number 4. It's been a blast so far. Yeah, my name is Ed. I am the guitar player in Death's Hand and the owner of Advocate Media.
And hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Ash, and I am the owner of Angry Ginger Photography. Today on episode 4 of the podcast, we have Opie Helstrom, the drummer for Empty Halls, with us.
Ah,
How's it going?
What's up, guys? Not
Nothing.
too bad. Just busy as always.
Absolutely. I think that's time of year for a lot of people. Ashley and I were talking about this earlier, and it's the same thing. It's like just very, very busy at the moment. So
yeah, everyone's got shows coming up and stuff, and then in the holiday season and work and teaching and all that stuff. So, and I've got a show coming up for a fill-in gig. It's just bonkers.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What show are you filling in for?
So I've got to fill in real quick with Revelations. We're playing with TFR and it's a new band that I hadn't heard of before.
Is it No Hope Cure? I think I just saw the flyer.
Yeah.
I will be there.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, sounds about right. At the back.
Oh no, Give Up Hope. Forgive me.
Give
it's
Up
Give
Hope.
Up
That's
Hope.
the one.
That's what it is.
They have the noose off their P at the bottom of their P or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm filling in with Revelation. Their drummer's out at college right now. So I just played a set with them down in Worcester with like Wretched Tongue and Involuntary Victim and all those dudes, and it was not good, and I apologize to anybody that came out to it. There was something wrong with like the guitar player's like volume level from his head. Like it was just, I couldn't get any volume out of it because I wear in-ears and I run a separate mic that goes right to the cab, so that way like I don't have to worry about fucking with the front of house sound.
Absolutely.
And I had both the front of house mic'd into my mixer, and I had my mic as well, and like everything was just clipping to the point where it's like distorting, and I couldn't hear anything from anybody or whatever. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, which like I filled in for House Lights. I filled in for Late 9. The Late 9 gig was like 3 weeks, I think. Notice, no rehearsal, showed up. They got there because of traffic. They got there like the song before we got on the stage. Literally loaded our drums on the stage. I loaded onto like this sheet where my drums just like slid everywhere the whole set. And it was just like, all right, I got the tracks, let's press play, let's go. Like, it just like sent it, and it was like not like, you know, probably wasn't the greatest of their sets because that sheet sliding around, but like it was literally the worst show I had last weekend.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Anthony from Rose Lane was actually there just to hang out. Like the boys from Rose Lane showed up. The coolest dudes. Yeah, absolutely. Like he's just
they're all the nicest guys.
Dude, so nice. And he was like, bro, I know what you do. I know what you can do. He's like, don't let it get to your head. Like, don't worry about it. So I stayed for most of the night. And then he messaged me the next day and was just like, dude, like, don't let it beat you up and stuff. Like, he's just the kindest fucking guy. And like, we played their first show. I think it was their first show. But Anthony and I played in Doomsayer as well. So like, and he showed up, Doomsayer, when he played, when he did vocals for us at the 5-9, it was like, we needed a vocalist. Ours like went MIA. We couldn't find them. He showed up that day.
That's
we had
crazy.
a rehearsal before everyone got there, and then the video in the video is actually that show. He just fucking killed it. Like he's so that
was all just like same day he showed up, just
dude,
ready
same
to
day.
go, pretty much. What the heck?
Same day. He knew. We gave him the set list. And within like a week he learned it. He showed up and just fucking crushed it. Like the dude is just.
That's crazy.
Like, it's in his heart.
I love
like he's the nicest
so much.
fucking
That's
guy.
Incredible.
Yeah. We have a show. They're headlining the Shasky. I actually put on this show called. Well, it was supposed to have like this whole theme Shape Thrower was supposed to play and stuff, but they had to bail. Some family issues, which sucks. But like, it's around the holidays, so like that shit happens.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to say home for the holidays, but like the days are supposed to be like DAZE, and it's supposed to be the whole like the whole Days Confused kind of theme and stuff or whatever.
That's cool.
And Roseline was supposed to be like support, and Shape Thrower was going to headline. And I wanted to bring in Vi Queen from Maine.
Yep.
Because those guys fucking kill it, and they're like, we haven't played like Central New Hampshire at all. Like we played Wally's or whatever, and that's it. And I was like, I'll get you guys in there. So I put on this show and I called myself like Last Minute Booking or whatever. And then Shape Thrower dropped, and we had to find another band. And socially problematic children, who I don't know if you guys have ever heard of those kids, but like,
no,
I think they're based out of Mass. Technically, everyone's based out of fucking.
They say,
exactly. They're a New England-based band, and they like when we played with them, they were down a guitar player, and they just reminded me of like an early like Every Time I Die. The vocalist was awesome, like in energy-wise. The drummer was just beautiful. Matt, like he reminded me so much of Rat in his playing styles. But they couldn't do it. So it literally turned into like this last minute booking gig of throwing bands together. But so we've got them. So we've got Rose Lane headlining the Shasteen on the 23rd.
Nice.
Like I'm so excited to hang out with those guys because I just know like it's just gonna be a good, fun show, hanging out with like your friends and just having a good time. So
yeah, I love Homie Fests. Like those are the best.
Yeah, dude, it's the best. Like that's. I mean, because I came originally from Maine, and I didn't come from like southern Maine, where like Cruel Hand and all that shit was happening. When you talk to like Alex and stuff from like Stitches, like remembering all that stuff, or Maddie Dion from Spit Your Teeth, like remembering all those like early days of South Portland. I came from northern Maine, like Presque Isle. So like to get to the Cave, which the Cave was in Bucksport,
Yeah.
And I mean, originally it was just like Kathy. It was just Kathy putting it wherever she could put it. Yeah. But like when I came up, it was like to get to the Cave was like the big venue and everything.
Yeah.
So like to play that was like huge, and to be able to like just go to a show was a huge deal from where I came from, because we were doing like VFW halls, we were doing churches, like anywhere that would let us have a show. So when and granted, like I filled in a lot. I filled in for House Lights. I filled in for Late Nine. I filled in for a year for Geary. I've done also like cover bands and stuff on the side as well for a long time. So like I'm always busy. I mean, like before you guys were like, "Hey, can we get together early or whatever?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I'm literally in my fucking cave, surrounded by drum shit, just working on the next set, because we have like a, I don't think it's released yet, but it's like end of January. It's like a big set coming up. That's a cover, kind of like a cover thing or whatever. So because my band Empty Halls also does like emo nights. So we have like a list of like 30 emo songs, but we've got to add a bunch of that. So like I'm prepping for that. I'm prepping for the show on Saturday. Like, so I don't make it out to a whole lot of shows. So when we have the show at the 23rd, when we have like, like this Saturday and stuff like TFR and everything, I'm excited to meet the other band, because I've never heard of them. So it's like, I could meet my best friend and not have not yet known, it could be a movie in the making, right? Like,
right.
So it's super exciting. And that's what I love about shows, and growing up in a place where you couldn't get to shows a whole lot and you had to make your own. And it wasn't like I'll never forget the first time I ever went to the Cave, or ever saw my first hardcore show that Matty D put on when he couldn't put it at the Cave, and it was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it was crazy, So I'm so excited to have New England, like itself, is always kind of its own incubator and the bands that have matured right now in New England are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I know everybody hits like fucking Pennsylvania and goes across Pennsylvania and goes back out to the Midwest and shit. But like, true to fucking being New England, you know, there's so many good bands right now that are just like jumping off. It's like, if you have the time, I know we're all getting older and shit, and like there's not as many all ages venues as there are 21 plus. But like, if you can make it to a fucking show, like you can see some like great fucking shit, and I love it. Like, it's great, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've dedicated my life to fucking playing music. You know, it's that's it for me. So it's awesome to see it. Like, you might know, being from Maine and stuff. Like, you might remember Tomorrow's Tragedy, which then became In the Kingdom of Nightmares.
Yep.
We played Lions Fest or whatever there that Lions put on.
Yep.
And I got to play with TJ and Gary and shit. I remember sitting side stage and talking with Dan, my vocalist, and just being like, dude, just watch this shit. Like,
yeah.
TJ is gonna fucking blow you out of the water, and Gary's gonna make you like just fucking groove. Like, those dudes just write the best fucking metalcore you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah.
And I was so excited, like, that they got back together, that they were doing shit again. Like, it was just like, fuck yes, because it's like, this is the mark we leave on the world, you know, for better or for worse, you know. But like, I hear all those stories about growing up and like, oh, DC was where punk was at, you know, and DC is where, you know, hardcore came from, or you feel, you know, the New York hardcore with like 25 to Life and fucking Madball and all that shit, you know, we're fucking like, I hope that we are creating our own kind of environment to where like 20 years from now, people are gonna be like, I wish I was at shows when that happened. Because I remember being at like Ushuaia's. I remember being at the Asylum and seeing Dillinger. I remember being at the station and seeing fucking Attack and Dance Gavin Dance, Job for a Cowboy. You know, I remember seeing Trapped Under Ice at fucking what do they technically call that? It was just like a VFW hall in South Portland. You know, it was just a hall.
Yeah.
And it was fucking Trapped Under Ice. It was A Thousand Arms. Fuck, that bill was just so crazy. Like, somebody shared it the other day, and I was just like, I can't believe I saw that like in that fucking venue, you know. So
yeah. There's been so many, like, especially, I mean, most of the stuff I know is all in Maine, but I mean, I've played a handful of shows in you know, other states, but Maine's had like a lot of like small venue changeovers, and I'm not talking like legitimate like venues. Like, I'm talking like any place, like you said, any place where you can play, right? Like, so like whether it's like VFW halls, whether it's churches, whether it's wherever. I mean, Maine's had so many places.
The practice space that like Legend has it, and then it turned into wherever Ryan Curry was, that space at that time. Like, that was a huge point at that point when Kathy was sick and there wasn't a whole lot going on. Like Ryan Curry and those boys like kept that going with Holy Filth. Like, they kept a space available and stuff. And that's the thing with New England is like, I don't know if it's something that's in the water, if it's in the air, the season changing, but like, motherfuckers will just figure it out. We'll have a fucking show. Like, doesn't matter. Look at 5'9". Fucking Rob just put that whole shit, like,
he made it happen.
Dude, 5'9" has been nicer than half the clubs I've played in. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I played up and down the East Coast and out to the Midwest, and like, it's just like, if the people want it, there's a place for it, you know. And like, and Maine is definitely that thing. And I remember when I joined Empty Halls, I was like, we have to get up there. Like, we've got to figure out a way. I've talked to like Anthony Brown a little bit about it and stuff. And it hasn't just like, the dates just haven't lined up, but it's like, we need to bring like another New Hampshire band and just come up and just absolutely, you know, just have a fucking riot. Because it was the best. The main scene has been, now that I'm older and I've played out a lot, and I've played around the country and stuff. Granted, I haven't been to the West Coast, so I can't speak over there. However, I've played around a lot, and in most places that I've played, Maine swipes everybody off the fucking table.
Yeah.
The greatest, the most fun shows, most camaraderie, the most like this is what it's fucking about.
Yeah.
The greatest shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. There's been some times when that's not the case, but that's every place, right? Like that's every place. Like you're gonna have the shows where it's like, oh, this like not like the show didn't go well, just the vibe wasn't right. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna get those. But I would say like overall, a vast majority of the shows, even if like, you know, some bands don't like other bands or what, however you want to put it, which that happens sometimes too.
Yep.
I think I've never had a show that's gone really in Maine ever that's gone like real sour or has been like, I want to get out of here as soon as possible. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I've ever had a show that's ever been like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've really had a show that's ever been like that ever, really, where I've just been like, go and play and like I need to get out of here. Like this sucks. You know what I mean? Like it's you know, it's even the smaller shows with like less people, like usually there's someone there that I know that like I want to spend time with. You know what I mean? Friends that you want to
Hanging
spend
out,
time with.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a huge thing nowadays. I feel like I've seen this stuff. Like I try not to spend too much time on Facebook because I don't fucking have the time. Honestly, when I'm on it, I'm usually shitting.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know about anybody else, but like I'm just sitting there like
No, same.
fucking
That I think that's
wait
most
for it to
people.
plop, you know.
So
Like,
Yeah.
accurate.
I
and
think
it's
that's
just
most people.
yeah. So like you kind of see like a small you see like a small moment of it or whatever, but there's a whole thing about like people showing up or bands showing up and like staying and all this shit, and it's just like, what's the point of going to a show if you're gonna like play and then leave?
Right.
And that's it. Like
That's the big
whether
debate right now.
you're right, even if you're not playing, like even if you're going for a band, it's like why pay the extra money? Why not hang out? Like why not meet some people? Like
Yeah.
I remember when even when I was in northern Maine, right, when that was like the only social thing to do was we rented VFW halls, and it was like I don't like this band or I don't like these people. They're from a different town or some shit or whatever. Like I remember playing this show and people were like, "Oh, it's Unlucky Joe. I'm not gonna go because they're from fucking Easton or whatever."
Right.
And I was just like, I don't fucking care. Like they're playing good shit or whatever, fine. But the parking lot was still full, and then the next band played, and everyone came in, you know. And like Bangor was the same way. Like the underground was always like that.
Yeah.
It was just a place for people to go and socialize. But social media has kind of skewed that because people can kind of hang out or get their social fill
Right.
besides those locations. But it's like if you're gonna pay money, if you're gonna go to a place, like why not hang out and meet other people and stuff, you know? And
Yeah.
now you have like vendors that are into like oddities, and I think it's the best way to categorize them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like an umbrella term, but like, you know, it's people that are into stuff that you're into as well, you know. And like if it wasn't for social media, that's the only way you would be making shit. Like
Right.
I started playing music in 2002 or 2000 even. I think it was 2002 when I played my first show. And there was no Facebook then, I think.
There's no
even.
promoting like on social
Yeah,
media.
like there was
Yeah.
it was just like hey, you passed out flyers at your like show and shit, and like at your high school, and like hope they show up to this show. And people were just like, I don't have anything to do. It's a Friday night. Hey mom, I'm going to the mall. And then you get a carload of kids that come up to this fucking random ass building that like nobody fucking knows anything about it. You're drinking shit that you don't know what it is, and you're headbanging to fucking bands that you don't even know what the music or the words are to, and dudes are fucking throwing around, and like, you know, you're just like, it's like a rite of passage almost, like a Dazed and Confused kind of thing. So it's, I feel like Maine has always had this really good turnout for shows like that, and maybe it's because everything's so stretched out and it's so far back in time, and there's not as much to do, where people are like craving that show and that energy and wanting to go. Like I said, I've told the guys empty halls, like we have to get up there at some point. Like I mean, obviously I don't want to like force anything, you know, and be like,
right,
we got to play a show by this date.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like we got to make something that like fits and everything. So
yeah.
to make that happen. Yeah.
That's it's never fun to kind of force anything, especially if it's like, if you get an offer or if you reach out to somebody and someone's got something and you can make it work, then cool, it'll work. You know what I mean? Like, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Like with Death's Hand, it's very similar. Like it's at a point where like, if we can make it happen, it can happen. And even if it's like a really good show, but like if we can't make it happen, it's not happening. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It just,
the thing is we're all older now, so it's like we don't have as much time to make shit work and everything. And that's the problem with like not having 21 or having mostly 21 plus venues, not having a lot of all age venues, is that the kids are like throwing their shit online and making YouTube accounts and being able to play and do this and that, but they're not actually like playing shows and like learning what it is to play with other people because there's no opportunity to. So, and as we get older, those opportunities to play shows and stuff get smaller and smaller because we got work, we've got this, we've got that. Like I teach drums and I also work a full-time job as well. So like my time is very like minuscule. Thankfully, I don't have kids, so like I don't have to worry about also having to split that into it as well as something else, Plus, as you get older, maybe music is something you were interested in when you were a kid, but you also have other interests, like going like programming or something. So like it's just one of those things where like you can't force it and it doesn't always work and doesn't always fit. So
there's only so much time that you have in just making all the things worth it in that short day.
Exactly. It's like I love rock climbing. Like it's my other like big hobby is rock climbing. And my wife and I, like, we really bonded over rock climbing when I proposed to her. I did it in a rock gym. Like that's my huge other thing. But, like, that's also time consuming. And music is time consuming. And she knows, like, God fucking bless her. She knows, like, if I don't play music, I get depressed. Like, it just happens. Like, I can't help it. It's like, I can't not play music. But I also need a point to where like I have to step away a little bit to be able to kind of like recharge myself and stuff because you try to take on too many tasks or too many things. And there's only 24 hours in a day, right? Like learning how to play chess, it's just like, oh man, I kind of remember this, but ask hold on a second, I gotta learn these drum parts I gotta interview. Hold on.
Exactly.
And then you realize you didn't respond to someone from like 4 days ago, and it's like, I am sorry.
I literally like I tried for a while to keep up with social media and stuff, and then I just stopped. And I was like, if people really need me, they'll message me. Like they'll send me a message, and if they don't, then they don't. And if I need something from somebody, or if I want to check up on somebody, or if I heard something about somebody and I need to like shoot them a message, be like, hey, I heard there was a fucking hurricane. Are you okay? I have the luxury of using social media to do that, but like I don't fucking live in that space, and I don't have time to live in that space. So
exactly.
I think which honestly I think is a good thing, and like I miss out on some stuff or whatever, but like I'll go to practice and my bands will be like, oh, did you see so and so like drop from the gig, and I'm like, oh, I didn't see that. No. I'm like, yeah, but they filled it with this person. I'm like, oh, okay, well they filled the slot, so whatever.
Cool.
Like
it doesn't matter.
Is it a good band? Is it a cool band? Is it a band I've never heard of? All right, cool. Like whatever. Like it's how I heard of like socially problematic children. Was like a throw-in band or whatever, and they fucking killed it. I was like, fuck, these guys are great. Like and they're like on the younger side, from what I remember. So it was like, fuck yeah, like boost these guys up. Same thing with like, set the bar low. And, like there's so many good bands in New Hampshire. Or in New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Mass. Like New England is doing its thing. It's just doing its thing that it does. And it cycles, and there's highs and lows. And it's just going.
Yeah, that's what is perfect like about this podcast, because that's like your first guest where it's like, yes, I know of your work because that's how you are on the show, but
Right.
I knew like Matt and Rob like a little bit more, and it's like getting to hear all of this and everything. Like that's what's awesome about true like the podcasting, just getting to know everyone and things.
Yeah.
And you
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, you get to realize like how everyone is really like interlocked in some way. Like someone played in someone's band or hung out with somebody and knew somebody, and like Ryan. I remember Ryan when he was when he was going to shows, before he was in any band, he had a apartment. His family had an apartment above my guitar players, who I'm not going to mention their name because I don't want to give them any limelight whatsoever.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, like I just don't like. That's a big reason of why I left what I did, because I was just like, this is fucked up. Like,
yeah,
and like, yeah, when you learn the depths of it, you're just like, this is fucking horrible. Like, I'm not gonna be part of this.
Yeah, it's insane.
But sitting in his living room, like Ryan was like screaming to our like release that we did, our single or whatever, that was on like MySpace and shit. So like Ryan was practicing to our songs.
Yeah.
And it was just like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then to see him now, it's just like, dude, like you've become your own person. Like you're not even like I think back to that time, but it's like you're a totally different person now, you know?
Oh,
but
yeah.
I can still see him in videos, like at Geno's and shit, throwing down, and I still know it's Ryan throwing down.
Yeah.
I still can pick him out in the crowd.
Yeah.
Plain as fucking day.
It's pretty easy to pick. Like you could see him, you could be like, I don't know, 5-6 rows back from where people are and just see his arms, and you're like, yeah, okay, I know who that is.
You know that is him.
Yeah, like that's right.
People's mosh styles, yeah. I think Anthony from Rose Lane and James Abbott are the same exact moshers, just they don't even know it yet.
Yeah, just fucking goddamn trucks like driving.
Yeah, exactly, just big men.
Like, fucking ridiculous.
That's
I remember we went and saw Too Late to Hero open Attack and Devil, not Devil Wears Prada, but Dance Gavin Dance at the station. And during Dance Gavin Dance, like I just threw down. And I'll never forget, Tim was just like, bro, you were just like throwing haymakers, and there was just like a circle around you, and just nobody wanted to touch you. And it was just like, he's like, that will forever be like burned into my memory.
That's funny.
Of just like that one fucking visual. And
and
it was just like, yeah, like it's what I grew up wanting to do. And I mean, even getting to the Cave was like, from growing up in Northern Maine, getting to the Cave was like a huge accomplishment. You know what I mean? It would be like playing the Rat or playing Chain Reaction, or you know, like it's one of those venues that like just you had to get to, like you just had to. And Kathy was so awesome about just bringing in, I don't want to say like anybody, but just like she brought in all these bands that like were about the whole idea of like hardcore and family and like being there and stuff. And I guess that's where I get my mentality on, like, you know, if you're gonna play a show, stick around as long as you can. Like, yes, like we're all older now and we got problems, you know. I work at 5 a.m. I work weekends. I work for the fucking post office. Like, you know, I don't wear this hat because I think it's funny. I wear this hat because it's literally my fucking work hat, and I haven't taken a shower since I got home from work at 2 o'clock because I've been doing fucking music shit and everything or whatever, you know. So like, you know, they just wanted to bring in the people that really cared about the music and everything, and that was like the greatest fucking thing. Like it really was. So
and I'm pretty sure if she's got that documentary, right, that's coming out soon about the Cave. That's gonna be sick.
I have been trying to get onto one of those bills, but I work weekends, so like every time when I'm like, I got time, I go to fill out a thing, it's full, it's booked up already. Like there's so many people that like are like
Yeah.
Kathy has touched so many lives
Yeah.
across so many states, even outside of New England
Oh yeah.
and across the country, that like after what 3-4 weekends of just like half hours for fucking like 10 hours,
Yeah.
there still is enough time slots for everyone.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
Kathy
There's
Kave. Kathy is I can't even explain her. I just can't put her
yeah.
into words. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like she's
Yeah.
just a goddamn fucking angel. Like I'm not religious, but she's an angel on this earth that gave a lot of kids a place to go when they had no place to go, and it
Yeah.
made them know what family really was. And
Yeah.
that's what that's my take on the Cave. That's my take on Kathy. That's my take on what hardcore and what the music scene should be.
Yeah.
Which is what sucks about the 21 plus shows, because like how are we going to get new blood in here to keep that alive when they
Exactly.
can't, it's like, why can't a bar just give up their liquor license for like a night, something on like
Yeah.
a fucking Sunday? I don't mean like a Wednesday, Friday, or Thursday, Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday,
Where
like a
they're not
fucking
going to
Sunday.
really lose it. Exactly.
Yeah, they're not going to
Yeah.
lose a ton of money because no one's going to be there fucking anyway, but you
Yeah.
could put
Exactly.
a fuck ton of kids in there. Like I have students that are like, oh, I want to come see you play, but I'm 19 or I'm 7, or
Yeah.
and it's like, well, you're shit out of luck. Like either I'm
Yeah.
playing in a cover band or I'm playing in a 21 plus club. Like,
Yeah. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
like still to this day one of my like gripes with Ralph's is Wretched Inferno was playing there back when like they're still young, but when they were like freshly 16, and I watched the bouncer giving them the hardest time, almost didn't let them in, and it's like, why are you putting them on a show if it's going to be an issue?
Yeah.
yep. When I played in Soundbender, we played the Asylum, which is now Aura.
Yeah.
And we were playing with, I think we were opening for Nonpoint, if I remember, if memory serves me right. It was a long time ago. But I wasn't 21, so they marked my hand. I was allowed to bring my stuff in. I had to get escorted back outside. I sat outside. They brought me back into play, and then they brought me back outside again.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dude, just give me like a wristband, give me like a notice or something. And like, I get that like they can lose your liquor license if they find someone drinking underage, but like, especially when you have kids playing and stuff and everything, it's like, there are ways. Like,
Yeah.
there's got to be ways to make this shit fucking work. And that's
Yeah.
when you run into people like Rob and shit at 5'9" that are trying to make it work, but it's like, bro, you're in a residential area in a really nice fucking neighborhood. Like, they're not gonna fucking like all the mischief, which is just kids fucking like slam dancing and adults
Yeah.
drinking. Like,
Yeah.
they're not
Mostly
gonna.
but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I don't think, honestly, you do that in any fucking hood, I don't think anybody is gonna be down with it. Everyone's gonna
Yeah.
be like, what the fuck's going on? Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is fucking stressing me out. Unless you're in like a residential area. But it's like he can't afford, or people can't afford to like have an entire building rented and coded and
Yeah.
fucking green lighted for the fucking state to be like, yeah, go ahead and use it for 4 hours a fucking night.
Right.
Like, which
Yeah.
is why places like the station and all that shit stopped stopped booking bands, and we're only doing like pool nights and all
Yeah.
that shit, and then eventually went away because it's just like doing just shows is not monetarily valid for capitalism and for people of the
Yeah.
capitalist mindset.
Yeah.
It's completely for the people that need art to exist and need art
Right.
to be able to make it to the next day,
Yeah.
which like my buddy and Rose, like, Anthony, like I said, I had that really hard set, and I actually ended up leaving the show a little bit early. I watched Revitalize for a little while, and I just like couldn't get out of my own brain. Like, brain was just telling me that like everyone's like talking shit about you, like throwing you looks, like just
Yeah.
shit that wasn't happening, but like my brain was telling me it was happening because I played a horrible set. So I had to get out of there. And, like, he messaged me, and it's just like, shows are there for the people that fucking need it, and it sucks that there's people out there in this world that have to find a way to live in a capitalized society while also doing what they love and what makes them a person,
Right.
and trying to find a way to monetize that at the same time so they can just exist and be okay. Like,
Yeah.
it's the shittiest fucking thing,
It's
Yeah.
the
exactly.
shittiest thing.
Yeah.
Whether it's fucking music, photography, drawing, like fucking whatever,
Mhm.
like, it sucks.
That's
Yeah.
But
absolutely it. My day job, I'm a school photographer. I've been going all over New England doing all of that. Exactly.
holy
So my
shit.
job has me on overnights. I've been to Connecticut like 3 separate times in the last like week and a half. Like I'm burnt. And all I
Yeah.
want to do is just like edit the shows that like I care about. Like I just did Fit for an Autopsy. I've only done them
Oh
of
fuck
that
yeah.
entire bill. Like I want to see, like I haven't even looked at Body Snatcher and things like that.
Yeah.
And there's still like photos I need to edit from like even weeks prior to that. It's just like finding the time to do the things that like we care about as people
Yep.
and what actually like fills our day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like probably a terabyte of footage of me playing with like house lights, of Geary, Late Nine, Empty Halls stuff, Doomsayer stuff, Ashes of the Priest stuff. I have a ton of footage that like I just don't have the time to like literally have time to go through in
Yeah.
a single day, to be able to meet, because I also work 40 hours plus at the post office and then teach on top of that, And the teaching kind of gives me like somewhat of like a reciprocal good feeling, like I had
Yeah.
a student that got his first like gig as a cover in a cover band, and he's
Oh,
like, it's all because of you. And I'm like, dude, I mean, it's not. Like, it's because of
Yeah.
you. Like, you're the one playing. Like, I showed you the road, and like, you just made it fucking happen.
you
Like,
did the work.
yeah, like he's a
Yeah.
great drummer, great timing, like great understanding of like how the drums fit the song, for cover bands and everything. Like, he would be great in like a '90s cover band. Like, he could kill it, But he's like, oh, it's because of you, and I'm just like, it's not. But like, it's nice to think that like growing up, I didn't have a whole lot of teachers or people to like help guide me, and I didn't have YouTube and shit, so I made a lot of trials and errors along the way. So like, I can kind of help you skip those and just get you streamlined into like playing with people and like being able to feed off of people and get into just playing drums and everything. And so that's really the magic of playing music, is to me, like when you're creating with other people and stuff. It's like, and the whole technology world is great nowadays. Being able to record your guitars at home, doing all your I remember recording with
Oh
Evan,
yeah.
and he was like, "Yeah, dude, we pretty much recorded 90% of it like by ourselves. Jamie helped me do the drums, and then like we mostly did the rest or whatever." But he's like, "You can do so much from home," which I think is great. But like, I do the best when I'm sitting in a room with people and I'm like, oh, this idea, oh, what about this idea? Like that momentum grows and you feel that energy, and like,
Yeah.
and it's like 5 different personalities coming together to make, Dear Diary or something or whatever, or fucking Minus the Bear. Like,
Yeah.
like it's just like all these different types of personalities that squash into what makes one band sound like a band.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to live in a capitalist society where it's like you gotta do all this day shit stuff to be able to do the artsy stuff and everything. Sitting on fucking terabytes of show footage and everything
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. It can get daunting, but like you said, like you find the time, right? You find the time, you do, if you really want to play and you really want to have a good time and you want to enjoy yourself and do what makes you happy, like you will make the time. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
it's that balance, which is
Yep.
is difficult for most, but um, if you can succeed by making all the puzzle pieces fit, then it works. It works.
Yeah, I think it's the one thing that like that kind of gatekeeps people from like, because technology makes things so easily accessible with like AI and all this shit, and everyone's like, AI is gonna replace everything. nothing's gonna be real. It's like, there's a certain amount of learning time that you have to do on your own as a person to be able to get something to have quality that people will gravitate towards.
Yeah.
So like yes, like AI is getting there, you know, like writing by yourself and then like all that stuff like is getting there. However, you still have to find that time to be able to put the human element into it, and that's going to win out overall, I think, always. And it's those
Yeah.
people that have the extra drive to sleep in their fucking work parking lot for 3 hours between, you know, work and a gig or whatever stuff and everything.
Yeah.
That are gonna fucking surpass that, and that are gonna, you know.
Yeah.
And I think people are already coming around to the fact that like we can't let the arts die, and that the arts they're getting out of like everyone's tired of social media. Everyone sees all the ruses, they see all the campaigns, they understand like how the fucking script is written to make you like log into it. There's apps to make you like scroll less, like
Yep, the algorithm.
yeah, it's already like facing a downfall, you know what I mean? So like, and as a kid from the 20th century or whatever, I grew up on like hackers and all that shit. Matrix, you know, it's already having its downfalls.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be okay. It's just you have to it just kind of weans out who really wants to make art for art's sake and then who wants to make a buck. And
Yeah.
I think it's really slicing those people out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got a video clip that you sent us. I kind of watched parts of it, so I'm assuming there's like a bunch of different like bands you've played in and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I was so fucking busy, right? Because I had the show this weekend, I work weekends, I had to put lessons together. I was just like, I need to grab some shit really quick. What do I have on my phone? So I literally just found
Nice.
a couple slots off of my phone of like
Cool.
me and Empty Halls, Doomsayer, Ashes of the Priest, which I'm not even in anymore, but like has the martial law dudes in it. And those dudes are fucking great and are amazing musicians. And
Yeah.
I love the martial
Benson,
law. Incredible.
like Benson's a vocalist, but like Benson is also like
the best sound guy.
dude, amazing sound dude. Like we went to the same
Yeah.
school. He was there after I was, but like him as a vocalist is almost like doing a disservice to the knowledge that he has as a sound man.
Yeah.
And what he can be doing like in a professional level.
Yeah.
And I think the last one is actually like I think it's the Geary show that that Dingy came back for. So like he was overseas for a year and then he came back. So we wrote it so I play the set, and at the end of the set he gets up there and he gets to do his favorite song off of that album.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, like it was a super cool moment. And I think Brian, who was in Shot Heard Around the World,
Yeah.
and Alex, who was in Actor Observer, they edited it together and everything. I had like a GoPro on my chest and stuff, and they kind of edited it together. But it was just a really cool. That was a really cool moment that I will forever hold as like
it's an awesome shot.
thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like that, like the music and everything with it is just like primo.
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw that up right now. Let me get this situated here. We'll watch this real quick. It's like a minute, a little bit over a minute.
I think it's like a minute and 15, I think.
Yeah, so we'll watch that whole thing. So I'll throw this up and we're gonna watch that real quick. So here we go.
That's me screaming. Anthony, and Liz.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that's
awesome.
fun.
I use CapCut. I just downloaded like a video editing thing real quick or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's
to
so
throw it
much
together.
easier. It's so
Isn't
much
that our
easier.
intro is CapCut?
Yeah, our intro and our outro are both CapCut.
Nice, yeah.
It's just like
it popped up.
it's just
super
way
easy.
easier. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
way
and
easier.
it was just like, and it was when you guys shot me the message, and everything. I was just like, fuck, man, like I don't have any time. Like, when the fuck am I gonna put together a video? And then I was just like, I'm gonna
throw
I know,
stuff.
I'm
Google.
asking everyone in their like busiest season.
Yeah.
It's like
Wow.
unless you have like a music video for your band or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not only that, but like you actually have to have like, you know, the MP4 or whatever, you know what I mean? Like whatever
Right.
file you have, like, you know, if you don't have that, then like if it's just on YouTube, like the only way I can really play it off of this is actually having the file. Like I have to have
The
the
file
file.
itself.
Yeah. So it's like it's one of those things where it's like if you don't have it, it's fine. But if you have something, you know, we'd love to use it, you know? So that was perfect.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Yeah, and I tried
Wild.
to put together like all my aspects into one thing.
Yeah.
No. It's wild seeing the Doomsayer video now, knowing that Anthony like showed up like same day, because like that goes so hard. Like that, you guys are so tight, and he just showed up. Like
That's
he
hilarious.
was just brutal. It was just like we talked to him over Facebook and everything and stuff, and like and I didn't know who he was. It was all like Dan just being like, he'll send it, like he'll be good, and I was like, all right, you say it. And then we ran through the songs before the doors opened, and it was just like, all right, this is gonna be fucking nasty. And we just absolutely fucking crushed it. And that's the thing is like, the Doomsayer thing started as a charity event for a family that had a house fire, like the day before Christmas. So Dan organized it as a way to just raise some money, and he put it on at Rocco's, not Rocco's, but so my age. Put it on at Jewel, like in the back room, and all the proceeds went to that family and everything and stuff, and it was just like a Hatebreed set. And Chris Clement of Concrete Ties played bass. And then the next show, they got offered to do another one with like a Pantera band, and Chris couldn't do it, so Dan reached out to me and asked me to do it. And then that show, it was kind of we just kind of rode forward with me on bass, and the vocalist that we had at the time, Scott, like kind of went MIA. He served overseas, and he was really having a hard time with coming back from overseas after the shit that he saw, which I can't even fucking imagine what hell he was living in, you know. But Scott, and that's the thing too, is like a lot of us haven't even heard from him. Like his Facebook is dormant. Like, you know, I hope he's all right wherever he is. I hope he found some peace, you know, and he's just like chilling. But it was one of those things like, what do we do? And then it was just like, I know this guy Anthony, and it was like, fuck it, let's send it, you know. And then the last Doomsayer show that we did, we had Concrete Ties, the singer from Concrete Ties on that one, because Anthony had just like released Rose Lane and had I think the show a night before with Rose Lane, and like they were just coming out, so like he was super focused on that. And it was like, dude, totally understand, like wanted to do, you know, what you've been working on for the past probably year or whatever. You know, so whether there's another Doomsayer show in the future, I don't know off the top of my head, but it was meant to be like a thing where it was never meant to be like a cash grab or like a cool tribute thing that like everyone's doing nowadays. It was done in charity. It was done, you know, to help people out, which I think is the reason for music and stuff, you know. And I'm always down to play charities. That's my favorite thing.
For the right reason.
I could give a fuck if I make money from it. Like I music is the only thing that's ever made sense in my brain. Like I've been to college and shit. Like I'm not good at fucking scholastic stuff. Like I like to read. I like challenging things, but like music's the only thing I've ever been able to do. I've guitar, bass, drums, piano, all that shit. Like that's the only thing that's ever made sense to me that I've been able to do okay. So
Yeah.
it's like if that's my gift, if that's my thing that I can do, like some people are really good at swinging hammers and building shit. It just makes sense to them. If that's what I can do to help somebody else out, like I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there will be another Doomsayer show anytime soon or whatever, but like, Anthony just came in and crushed that game.
Yeah.
So awesome. He's such a good dude. I cannot understate that enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I've seen him at so many shows, just like truly like supporting every single person, like
Yeah.
making sure that like to get like there's a way to have like support for your bands, like, but he's truly like helping grow the community in such a different way. But
Yeah,
touching on, we do have a few questions for you, and I've loved hearing every venue and everything that you have talked about. But what is your favorite venue in New England and why?
oh shit. Fuck. I mean, is it? I don't know if it's active or deactive,
That's
but I
okay.
mean, the Cave, hands down. It's just the Cave.
Yeah.
Like Kathy would make you food. You'd have a place to fucking like sleep for the night. Indoors. That place. I saw so many bands. I remember seeing like Touche Amore and being like, "Who the fuck are these guys?" Before, like, you know what I mean? Like, fucking nobody knew who they were, and that like it's fucking Touche Amore. You know what I mean? I saw
Mhm.
Terror there. I saw Unearth there a couple times. You know what I mean? Like I saw Madball there. Like I saw bands I never thought I'd get to see there. Like,
Yeah.
and everything was like with love, and it was just like for those that have never been to the Cave, you go to the fucking country. Like go to your fucking like bumfuck country middle of nowhere. Drive through a fucking potato field. After the potato field, there's gonna be a turn. There's gonna be a fucking cemetery and a dam. And then to the fucking right of that, there's gonna be a little house with like a garage shack thing that's like spray painted. That's the fucking Cave.
Yeah.
And like that's it. Like that's and dude, the fucking I've hands down favorite
That was
venue.
weirdly a description of my hometown, though. Like I grew up
Yeah.
Dude,
in very rural New York.
that's the thing with the Cave is like the Cave was just like everybody's hometown. It was just what everyone should have had and did have a chance to. And
Yeah.
Kathy brought that. Kathy gave so many kids that would have never, ever, ever had a chance to play
Yeah.
anywhere a fucking home
Yeah.
and a place to go to and a
Yeah.
place to be,
Yeah.
and all the kids that were fucking there, all the fucking crews and everything, like which were just like different age levels, and it was just like a silly fucking thing. Not that FSU didn't fucking come around or whatever, but like she gave everybody, not even just in the state of Maine, but like everybody that ever wanted to dock on that doorstep, a warm seat to sit in and a fucking view and a good night to have. Like that woman has done more for this world than most people will ever do in their fucking lifetime. And
Yeah.
like I have a Kathy Cave tattoo, like I hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome. Next question. Okay, yeah. So favorite New England local bands right now. So out of all the ones, like just pick a couple. If you could pick a couple, like what are your like favorite, whether it's to see or just like homies or whatever it is, like just your favorite.
I mean, obviously Rose Lane. Those Brews are fucking killing it.
Rose fucking Lane.
Bag are
Yep.
a badass bunch of fucking dudes that need to be put on more shows. And they're the nicest fucking dudes.
Absolutely.
Love hanging out with those guys. Socially problematic children is great. there's this girl or this band called Megan from Work, but like it's an actual band. But she writes like some super like catchy, like indie pop stuff. She's really great. Vi Queen's fucking killing it.
Yep.
They are like fantastic. I don't know what I would put them as, like punk rock.
Yeah.
I guess kind of.
Yeah.
Fuck, there's so fucking many.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, go back and listen to other bands that I've mentioned throughout it, because I know
Right.
like I'm missing a bunch. I mean Forked Tongue just dropped a new fucking album.
Yep.
And those dudes are just a bunch of dudes that have been around the scene for fucking ever,
Yeah.
that are just they just fucking refuse to quit, and they just write banger after banger, you know.
I
There's
saw them at a ski lodge up in Maine. I'm trying to like remember where, but like they went
Wasn't
so
it
hard.
wasn't it the snowmobile club?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
in
That one.
In Holden. Yeah, in Holden.
Holden,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
you guys know better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been to a show there, but I've been to different events there before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
and yeah, that one's
Kave,
cool.
them, Rap Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kanashi, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Rap Blood's fucking killing it nowadays. Shape Throw's killing it. Obviously Matt was just on the podcast here.
Yeah.
Fucking all those you stand abandons fucking out there just killing deathcore.
Yeah, they're doing great.
Just straight up. Geary, if you are into guitar stuff at all, like Geary's where it's fucking at. Like post rock stuff.
Geary was the last one in the video, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was groovy. Like the tone of that just was. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Seriously, check out I think their Icky album just went. I think it just hit the 2-year birthday. But Alex, who started Actor Observer with his brother, which Actor Observer, another fucking band that's killing it. He started that with Actor Observer with Greg, and they like basically Alex was like, "Yo, I'm just writing these post rock riffs that don't like really fit with like the post hardcore stuff you're doing. So like I'm just gonna kind of do this thing," and then created this just like absolutely crazy band out of fucking with Brian from Shot Heard Around the World, which if you're from New England, you know about Shot. Like Brian's been doing it for years. But Alex plays the bass riffs on his guitar with like his hog pedal and stuff and everything, loops it, and then plays the rhythm guitar as well. And then Brian plays all like the atmospheric shit. Like the fact that they're doing what they're doing as a 3-piece is fucking wild. They don't mic their shit, like they're just like loud, but also incredibly soft and delicate. Like playing in that band was the coolest thing, because there literally were points where like I would be sitting like just like with my eyes closed listening to like Alex playing this passage, and then being like, oh yeah, like I have to come in, like I'm actually playing the drums here. Like the fact that Dingy was like, yo, can you do this for me, was like, it was such an honor, like to be asked to do that. So but yeah, those guys are absolutely fucking killing it as well, like in the post rock world. They're doing they create the greatest stuff. So I mean, there's so many fucking bands.
It's never ending.
I can sit here another fucking 10 minutes just like listening off people that are just like absolutely crushing it, or that I want to go see.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
And then what does Empty Halls got going on?
So Empty Halls finally has a new guitar player. We literally went like a year looking for a guitar player. We just got him kind of like in the groove and stuff. He did an emo night for us. That was kind of like his tryout sort of deal, and seeing if he wanted to like stick it. And he's like, yeah, it was really fun. Like let's fucking crush this. So we have a show coming up with Rose Lane at the Shasking in Manchester on November 23rd. And then we have another emo night coming up next year as well. And we're in the process of writing new stuff. We've got a couple of videos out right now on YouTube We got one for Nights Ave that our bass player Brian put together and did all the editing for that. Evan Middleton from Sync With Me, another band that fucking absolutely crushes it right now, or has crushed it since I found them. He shot our video for Lasting Impressions, which was really cool because he was so nice to work with. Because like I flew back from work and I was like, I had these shots in my mind. He's like, all right, cool. What are the shots? And I was like, I want like Dan dropping into his knees like here. And I had found like the cemetery. And then I was like, I thought about this shot about like Dan's like hand like going over top of like the tombstone or whatever. He's like, all right, cool. Like I feel like sometimes like when you see people, like when you work with people, they're like, I have an idea for the music video and this is what I'm gonna shoot, and just like this is what it's gonna be. And Evan was like the exact opposite. The dude was just like, yeah, what do you got? Like what's your idea? Like let's work with it. Like let's and he just like worked with every idea that I had, you know. And then also when he was like, that's a cool idea, but like I've already shot these ones, so that doesn't really work if you're gonna put all these together.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? So like
keep like still hearing it, but keeping it like on track, so it's still
musical
instead of having it be this random thrown together. Yeah,
exactly. He keeps kind of like the storyline together, and like he's a great like producer. Honestly, like he helps the band kind of like toe the line of like what's like cool and artistic and what's just like way too avant-garde or whatever. So
yeah,
I think actually. Oh, go ahead.
I'll say like on that point I wanted to make like I think that's a good part of a producer. That's something you want in a producer, is someone who can
100%.
like they take what you have and you're like, we want this, but we're going to give you, a little bit of our trust to take what we have and then just elevate it to this next thing, right? And it's like for me, especially whether it's shooting a music video, recording, whatever, drums, guitar, whatever, when it gets to that point, it's like you have to trust that like you're going to that person for a reason, right? It's not just like I'm paying you money and you're going to do exactly what I want you to do and I don't want to hear anything creative that's coming out of your head. You don't want that. You want someone who you can bounce those creative ideas off of, and they can tell you, okay, well, I've had experience with this, because typically if you're going to someone, you think that they are good at what they do, and they so it's like you go to that person, you go, this is our idea, tell me if it's stupid, or if these certain parts don't line up and the storyline doesn't work, tell us, but still keep it how we want it to be. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the best part about it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's as an artist, that's so hard, and as a producer, that's even harder to start to try to like put yourself with a band and be like, it's cool, but it's not going to work or whatever. That takes a lot of guts, and that takes a lot of nuts.
Yeah.
Frankly, to like sit with your conviction on stuff and everything. So because there's a lot of bands that out there that are very head fast and everything and won't fucking listen to reason. So thankfully, like with Evan and stuff, working with him, it was a lot of like give and take and a lot of like listening to each other and stuff and going off. So he was great to work with. And then I think Empty Halls has one more video called Key Holder, which was their first single. And the drummer in the video is a drummer from Keats, the guitar player's old band, because I had sent them my video audition the day that they were, like, Brian literally got it while they were shooting that video. So like, which the funny part is that I sat on my audition videos for the band because I hadn't been playing in original music for like 10 years almost. I've been doing cover bands because I wanted to play drums, but I wasn't a good enough drummer to play that stuff yet. So like I was kind of like practicing and cutting my teeth on cover band stuff and like making cover band music work. And so it's actually a dummy, quote unquote, who he came out to a show when we played at Sammy's, R.I.P. Sammy's. That place is going away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he came out to Sammy's to see us play and everything, and he was like, "Dude, I loved like your playing and stuff. He's like, you're a great fit and stuff." And it was like, "Dude, you did an awesome job on the music video. Like, you made it look cool."
Yeah.
So like, it was really cool to kind of hang out and cheer for that while. But I guess he's like a fucking, oh sorry, I guess he's some kind of like doctor or like some super like nerdy Harvard grad or whatever. I'm just like, man, you are. Thanks, but like you're
Smart.
the one that should be thanking. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're probably saving people's lives. I'm just fucking playing drums. Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
That's funny.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
We have now come to the part of the show where I'm just gonna say some of the shows we have going on, which I had no idea you were filling in for Revelation. So one of these is actually your own.
Nice.
But this Friday, with how much we've talked about Roseland, I'm of course gonna say that they are playing the Palladium with Erasing, Slam Witch, Deadlands, and they're opening for Renaissance. I actually saw the vocalist of Renaissance at the Palladium, like another super nice guy, just talking to like everyone that came up to him, giving them
Yeah.
day.
I had a drum student that came up to me with like he came to his lesson and he's like, "Do you know this guy?" And like showed me the phone and I was like, "Isn't that the voice guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's from like here. He's got a band. Like I'm gonna go see them." And I was like, "That's so cool." And he's like, "Yeah, he was super fucking nice."
Nice.
Like, it's so nice to hear that because like you see like bands that blow up online but aren't like doing a whole lot like locally or like for the local scene.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, you care more about the fame than you do about like making your local and upcoming bands and like you know raising all the ships. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it doesn't happen very often, but you do see it once in a while as someone that's been playing in music a long time, and you're just like, I see what you're doing, you know, and it's like, and that's like, that's not cool, you know. Like the late 9 guys, like those dudes, they fucking blew up with their TikTok, the roof thing or whatever, right? Like that reel. But yet they still like bring other bands on stage to like fucking sing with them and shit or whatever. That are like, you know, friends bands that are coming up. They put on festivals or like, you know, shindigs, homie fest, whatever you want to call them. Like they're one of those bands that like, yeah, like they're popular online, but they're still trying to cultivate the local scene and everything.
Yeah.
Like it was so cool to see that guy that does so well online with the vocal lessons to just be like hanging out, you know?
Yeah. That's crazy.
I was, really cool.
Yeah, that is super cool.
So yeah, go see Rose Lane and Renaissance and fucking all those boys at that Palladium show.
Yeah.
Go buy merch for Rose Lane. I'm doing merch for them on Friday, so anyone that's there, they will see me.
That's awesome.
Then on Saturday, also in Worcester at the Crompton Skate Park is the Johnstown Memorial Skate Jam with No Allegiance, Brace for Impact, Rap Blood, Green Street Fiends, and Heavyweight. I love Heavyweight.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's
Heavyweight's so good. Rap Blood's great too.
That'll be a fun show.
Absolutely. And then Saturday night in Manchester at Bad Burger, we have Revelation, Give Up Hope, and TFR. I'm so excited to eat all the burgers.
You know what's crazy? I had no idea until the show, like until we played the show, but the guitar player from Revelations was like the original guitar player in Fish Face. I had no idea.
Sean Malloy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love Sean.
Yeah, Sean's playing bass. Fuck, what's the guitar player's name? But yeah, like it's like I had no idea about that until like I filled in with him, and I was like, no shit, like holy crap.
That's
like if you love like Fish Face riffs, come check out Revelation because it's the same kind of fucking riffs.
That's funny.
Like, awesome. But we got Lil James from fucking Rap Blood doing vocals, and he fucking kills it.
Yes, he does.
Fucking kills it. It's so fucking awesome to watch him.
That's awesome.
Run. So
it's wild that you are playing for them, because he was like messaging me. He's like, "Oh, you're having Opie on the show. Like, ask about the set." And it like didn't click to me because I'm now also doing photos for you guys at Bad Burger. So it's like all full circle. So it's just gonna be like awesome homie fest again, and then we're gonna have burgers. That's gonna be great.
That's what I fucking love. Like that's awesome. That reminds me of like Jess Ninja, like doing photos at the Cave and shit, or doing photos down in South Pole. You know, fucking like. At the VFW and shit, you know, it's just like she was just everywhere doing photos, and it was like, oh hey, like I know you, like just it. I wish there was an all ages venue that we could bring in, the younger crowds, you know, like the Set the Bar Low people and all those and all that stuff, to be able to like cultivate this, because New England has such a great history of music and camaraderie in that aspect. We just need more of it. Like, granted, it's big. There's a lot of miles to drive.
Yeah,
those miles are so fucking worth it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm hoping I'm gonna try to have something in the works to do a venue up here in Maine. I have some feelers out, and I know some people, so I'm gonna try to be doing something. So yeah, it's very very, very early. So like. In a week, it could be bullshit, but
that's
you never know. You never know.
I remember playing fucking shows at the practice space in Holden, where they fucking parked the buses, for Christ's sake, like behind the dog grooming shop. Like
that's fun.
Where like no matter what, bands will find a place to play. Yeah, it'll fucking happen.
I was gonna say that's one thing I can for sure say about bands in Maine. I don't know as much about New Hampshire and Mass. I mean, I know Mass has a lot of places to play, but like for Maine, it's definitely like if we like you said, we will find a place to play a show. It doesn't matter where. Like, we'll make it happen. You know, like
I've played bedrooms. I've played fucking living rooms.
Yeah,
I've basements.
Oh yeah, I've played a plethora of basement shows, and they're fantastic, and just house shows in general. It's just like that's a thing. That's a thing.
I love that vibe. I love that camaraderie.
Yeah. It's always a blast. It's always a blast. Cool. Well, yeah, I think that's what we've got for today.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So much fun.
Really appreciate having you on. It's been a blast. It's
hopefully kept it within the hour.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we're golden at hour 12 right now, so we're perfect.
Oh, I'm a
like prime time. Right, exactly, like perfectly on schedule.
Yeah, we're golden. We're golden. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I won't be at any of those shows, you know, going on, but I hope you guys have a blast.
I'm just so excited to see you Saturday. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that'll be super
cool. So many
cool.
Fucking burgers. We're gonna eat a burger for Ed.
Yeah, you should. You should eat a burger. I want burgers. I want some photos. I want maybe a couple videos. I will say that Death's Hand may or may not be playing that venue at some point in the near future. So we'll just lay that out there. I don't know if you know, Ashley, but
I do know. It's a pretty sick lineup.
yeah, it's a pretty sick lineup. I can't say that yet because it's not announced, but it's gonna be dope. So I'm super pumped.
Joe has been killing
but definitely have a burger. I want photos and video, and that will get me even more excited for the show that's coming up. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
You have to message me that fucking date.
Yeah, I will. It's
like keep this date open.
Yeah,
it's Saturday.
Yeah.
Just tell me to keep it open, and I will.
Yeah, it's a little bit in the future, so we got some time. But I'll once it's announced, I'll definitely let you know when it's going on. But yeah. Opie, awesome. I appreciate it. This has been a great episode 4. It's been a blast up until now. So hopefully if Death's Hand doesn't play a show with you guys at some point soon, hopefully I can catch something in the works. So we'll figure something out. I'll make sure I pay a little more attention and try to make it out to some shows. So but yeah, guys, that's it for episode 4. Thanks for watching. It's been an absolute blast. Like I said, that we mentioned a bunch of shows, so definitely go and take a look at some of those if you can go support. And next week we will be here with episode 5. So yeah, appreciate it, guys. And hope everyone has a great rest of the night, and we'll catch you all later.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
See ya.
Bye.